Hi, I'm Judge Hatchett, and I am so excited to tell you that I'm going to actually be with you in Muskegon for a very, very special program as we talk about what we're doing with our youth, and we talk about stopping so much of the gun violence there. I hope you'll join me on October 22nd. Be sure and buy your tickets. It's going to be at the Performing Arts Center right there on the campus public school system. So come please. I look forward to seeing you there October 22nd. Thank you.
All rise. Glenda Hatchett. You may be seated in her court.
Over there by the flag. The doctor, the OBGYN, the nurse. Let's go. All right, my lawyer and my judge, go over there, stand behind Aaron. All right, everybody tighten up. Why did I put you all in groups? Why? Why? Because I want you to encourage each other. I want you to encourage each other. Right? Because if we can have gangs of thugs, we ought to have gangs of dreamers. And so I expect that there's going to be some stuff. Attorney Biana, I need a little mentoring of these two in the legal profession. We're going to get some mentors. Who's my law enforcement detective? Somebody wants to be a detective? You, all right, somebody. All right, sheriff is going to mentor you. We've got artists. Anybody in here who's an artist that can help me with this young man who wants to be an artist? Okay, all right, cool. All right, we see him later. All right, who else have I got? You got, all right, wait. For my NFL and NBA players, what's the backup plan? That's what I always ask. What's the backup plan? What's your backup plan? What's your backup plan? What you gonna do when you retire? Well, I need you to think about that. What's your backup plan?
To be a detective.
To be a detective. Okay. Everybody's got to have a backup plan. You know, because everybody doesn't make it to the NBA and everybody doesn't make it to the NFL. We've got to have a backup plan. Anybody who stood up who's under 21 just want to stand up and shout out to me their dream? Anybody just, come on, here you go. A business owner, who else? What else? Come on. Say it. Communications, anybody else? Yes. Mechanical engineer, yes. A pharmacist, yes. Trained those from the military, yes. Anybody else? Come on. Right here, oh yes. You want to be a rapper? Okay, we got a music engineer we need to hook you up with. All right, yes, you. Yes, you. Golfer, a pro golfer, got it. Yes. A psychiatrist. Yes. Astronaut. I love it. Yes. What? Travel nurse practitioner. Yes, what? A teacher. Yeah, we need good teachers. What else? A scientist? Real estate agent. All right. I hope that all of us who have responsibilities, and I don't mean just parents who are biological parents, but I'm talking about all of us adults. Because we have a responsibility to guarantee their safe passage from where they are now to where their dreams lead them. So all my 21-year and under are back on your feet. I want you to repeat after me. There is a dream with my name on it. There is a dream with my name on it. There's a what with my name on it? A what? A what? I didn't say somebody else's name, did I? I didn't say my name. I said that it has to be with your name on it. All right, you want me to be seated? All right, for the adults in the room, nobody said they wanted to be in jail. Nobody said I want to be a drug dealer. No one has said I wanted to shoot somebody dead. No one said I wanted to be a thief. I wanted to be a prostitute. Nobody said I wanted to drop out of school. And so we have got to listen. So there's an assignment, because I'm going to be back. I don't know when we're going to be back, but I'm going to be back. But there's an assignment for every adult that has a child in their home. You're supposed to ask them that question. What is your dream for your life? Then they are supposed to give me something. Give me your program. They are supposed to write it down. You can do poster board. You can decorate it. If they're little, you have to write it for them. If they're old enough, let them write it for themselves. I want them to write it. And then I want them to tack it above their bed. Why? Because I want it to be the last thing they see every night when they close their eyes. And I want it to be the first thing they see every morning when they wake up. Because I want them focused on the dream. So, when your friend tells you you need to just not do your homework, or you don't have to go to school, Mr. Principal, see, we're not going to have that. We're not going to have that. Because we are got a whole city, a whole county full of dreamers. That's what we're doing. We're raising up a generation of dreamers. Because we don't want to bury not one more child. Not one more child. We don't want to lock up one more child for murder, because we want them to see the goodness and the mighty, mighty potential in them. And so I had this whole thing that I was going to talk about collaboration. I don't have to talk about that here, because y'all are already working on it, about how we're going to do it. One more thing I want to share with you. You all can sit down. One more thing I want to share with you. Thank you. Weren't they wonderful? And I know I've gone probably much longer than I should have. One of the things that I know works and works well, and I'm going to be finished, is this whole thing of what happens after school. And so what we know from all the research, again from the U.S. Department of Justice, is that the highest incident of juvenile crime is not on Saturday night. Across the country, it is a problem in that critical time of 3 to 6. Why? Because we don't have enough watchful, healthy eyes on our children, right? Does that bear out in your community? Is that what's happening? Is that the case? And so when the no good, trifling, 23-year-old sees the 15-year-old who's cute and says, hey, baby, I'm going to rock your world, keeping it real. And then she comes up pregnant, and we go, well, no, she walked by some churches that were closed. She walked by some community centers that were closed. There wasn't enough after-school programs for her. When we had this boy, he dropped out of school because of whatever reasons, and we just didn't have enough safety nets for him. what I know works, and all the research bears out that that critical time, the highest incident of teenage pregnancy, a lot of the violent crimes they may not occur in that time, but a lot of the seeds are planted for it. So let me share my dream, and then I'm going to close, because I'm going to be back, is that I want to build centers that are open from 9 to 9. And maybe that's not a problem in this community, but it's a problem in a lot of communities I visit around the country. At 9 o'clock, we have Boys and Girls Clubs, and I'm so grateful now that we have one here. But in the daytime, there's nobody there because the kids are in school. Well, why don't we do that for GED programs for kids who didn't finish school, for some job training, to get some kids who probably need to be back in school during the day, right? Like, you know, some of those knuckleheads who came through my courtroom that didn't do what they were supposed to do. And I didn't tell you about some of the violent stuff because we've got really young kids here tonight. But my point is that if we could reweave the fabric of our communities. So one of the reasons that I started this national law firm is because I got to make a lot of money to build and endow this pilot in Atlanta, where I want to have 9 to 9, and I want to have senior citizens, and I want to build it in the Atlanta University Center, which is the largest consortium of higher education, what am I trying to say? HBCUs in the world. And for our white brothers and sisters, that's the historically black colleges and universities. So I want Mr. and Mrs. Jones, who didn't get to go to college, to get a CAU ID. You know, get a college ID and take classes that the kids who are graduate students and upper class people and the center at Spelman and Morehouse and Clark and AU will teach them. But this is the real one thing I want. I want Mr. Jones, who's retired, to then volunteer after school for the after-school program. Because, see, I want that hard-headed sixth grader who may not have ever known his father to see Mr. Jones. I want him to see a man who loved his wife, who went to work every day before he retired, who's done the right things, you know, and see him as a hero as opposed to somebody else. You know, that a gold chain doesn't make you a man, you know, and it doesn't make you the kind of person that maybe we need in our community. So then I want Mr. Jones to go home. He's going to set up the woodworking session. He's going to bring his stuff from his basement and have a woodworking shop for the sixth grade boys, right? Watch this. Then he's going to go home and say to Mrs. Jones, hey, baby, I need you to come up and volunteer after school, too. And she says, no, baby, I've retired. I'm not doing this. I'm going to play bridge. I'm going shopping. I'm not going to do this. He says, no, you work for a bank. So I need you to come and set up a credit union. Now watch this. So for every $5, up to $5, we're going to get an anonymous person to donate and match it. And instead of them thinking that the real value is in going and buying shoes that they're going to outgrow in a few weeks, then they're going to invest in some stock. And they're going to set up a credit union. And they're going to understand money and finance and the value of money, and that your money is not, your worth is not defined by the name on your behind. And so we build the fabric of a community. And so for kids who don't have a place to go at the end of 6 o'clock, the center is open until 9. But then there's the adult part, and people come and take classes at night, and there's music classes and art classes and whatever, I don't know, but just a way of rebuilding the community in a way. So now Mr. and Mrs. Jones He can go to prayer meeting on Wednesday night and not worry about being safe. Because the kids are going to look out for him. They're going to take care of them. When she comes home with the groceries, the kids in the neighborhood now are going to help her with the groceries because they know her. Like they used to know me when I was growing up in a community. And so we have got to think about how we come together. I said to the leadership earlier tonight, nobody can fix this by themselves. The educators can't fix it. The police can't fix it. The judges can't fix it by themselves. Law enforcement, social agencies, the churches, everybody has got to come together in a way that we look at what's happening. And we don't get another chance to save our children while they are still our children. And so I leave you with this. This is an old song from the church. I have a story, but I've gone much too long. I'll save the story for next time. So you all bring somebody next time. There's an old song from the church. It's my grandmother's favorite. It's called Walk Together Children. And don't you get weary. Run on and see what this may be my mother's nurse, so that's the only reason. Nope, it's not, so she's going to wait. Sorry. Run on and see what the end will be, you know? No, I'm going to tell a story. Somebody got a handkerchief. I'm going to tell you a story. Let me tell you a story, and then I promise you I'm through. Who's got a handkerchief? Anybody got a handkerchief? Oh, thank you, Mr. Prosecutor. Is this clean? No, just I was just teasing you. I know, we've been talking about such heavy stuff, we needed to laugh, right? Woo! No, I didn't know. Let me tell you what happened, though. I did this one time, and I went up without asking, and the man was sitting like kind of where you're sitting, but I was on the same level. And I said, oh, I need your handkerchief, and I pulled it out, and it was thin with the cardboard bottom. I just had the little thing. Okay. Don't act like y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Ooh, this is nice. This is silk. Okay, seriously. So the Sunday before I was getting ready to go away to college, Aaron, I knew I couldn't skip church. So I grew up in a very small church. Everybody knew everybody. And the mother's board, everybody, you know how it was. That they wore, okay, so for my white brothers and sisters in the audience, the mother's board are the elders in the Baptist church in the South. I don't know if that's any place other than the South, but in the South, the mother's board, they are the women elders in the community, in the church. And they always wear white. I don't care what time of year it is, they always wear white. And so after church, Mother Odessa Duncan came up to me, and she took a handkerchief. You know the handkerchiefs that had the red rose embroidered, and she nodded 4 silver $50, one in each corner. And she took it, Madam Superintendent, and she literally reached for my hand. And she took it and she closed my hand tight around this handkerchief. I'll never forget it. And she looked at me and she said, "Baby, you run on. I can't go where you're going. But baby, you run on." Never forgotten it. I don't know how far Mother Odessa Duncan got in school. I don't even know if she finished high school. But what I do know is that she prayed for me. And I don't get it twisted. Millions of people have seen me on TV all these years. I do not get it twisted. She prayed for me. She prayed for my generation. That she couldn't go, but she prayed that we would see a higher ground. And so for folk who don't understand it, they might look at that and say it's just $2. That's what they might say. Like, what difference does it make? It's just $2, 4 silver $half. But see, I knew that that represented wealth that you couldn't measure. Because, see, she had run her leg of the race. And what the message was that Sunday was, baby, it's your turn. You know, if you're in the relay and the race and, you know, that part where they get the baton and they hand off the baton and it's your turn to run that race, well, you cannot fumble the baton. You can't sit there in the race and say, I don't want the baton. You got to take the baton and you have got to run your race. And that's what I see this work as being. That we are called on now for a time like this. That we must run our part of the race. Because we don't have a choice. We have got to get it right. And so we can't say we're tired. We can't say, well, it's not my problem. We are called on to run this race. And so when she said, baby, you run on. That's the challenge. Muskegon County, it's the challenge that we're all called on. For us to look at our piece of this and figure out what we do here and now to make it better. And so, baby, run on with your best selves. Thank you.
The judge spoke to us from her heart, didn't she? Yeah, she really did. Let's give her another hand. We're so happy to have her here tonight. Yes. And at this time, we're going to have our remarks and presentations done by none other than Aaron Pulsifer. You know, I wish I was in his shoes. He got a big-time friend. Give him a hand.
All right, if you got the young people, you might not want to leave, because if you leave, you might miss out. Or if you are a youth leader and you have young people, we need that list. And if you will, we need a list of the young people or a count of who participated in this event tonight. So if you can give us that list, Attorney Brianna Scott, can you come for a second? Because she can explain it just a little bit better. She had a great idea, and we're gonna do this. We ain't gonna wait until tomorrow. We ain't gonna wait until next week. We gonna do this
Okay. For the youth that participated today, I indicated to Dr. Pulsifer that I would like to sponsor each of them to do a trip. We will cover the cost and for bus to get these students to come over to Michigan State University. I'm a trustee for Michigan State University, and I'd like to invite them to come onto campus. And what I'd like to do is have them come and go into the dorms and eat. I'd like to take them to see where students live on campus, do tours of the athletic facilities, as well as letting them see the classrooms, because I think one of the biggest things that we can do is to inspire our youth that there's something bigger than what they see here in their communities. And so that is why Aaron is asking for that list, because I need a count, I need the names, and so I can start trying to plan for this to take place sometime in the fall, or in the spring, sorry. Okay.
All right. So again, I'm so thankful that you all came out. let's everybody give yourself a hand tonight. Let's give the Honorable Judge Glenda Hatchett a hand tonight. And if you would like for her to come back, let me hear you make some noise if you want her to come back. She will be back. When we bring her back, we're going to bring her back when it's a little warm so we can take her by Lake Michigan. So we got a couple of things that we're going to do here tonight. So Judge Hatchett does not know that we're about to do this, so I'm going to ask that if you have a presentation, Judge, you want to come? Somebody might want to get out there clean. Does anybody have a box of tissues?
Yeah, because he knows I'm going to.
Because she's going to cry. Yeah. So, so Judge Hatchett, we appreciate you coming. And this is on behalf of the Kojic Center. This is on behalf of the Kojic Center. I'm not going to read it, but this is a resolution from the Kojic Community Center in recognition of extraordinary service and leadership, Judge Glenda Hatchett. All right. Will the board members come? Or we'll do that afterwards, Bishop. We'll do it. Yeah, for the sake. Yeah. Also, Mayor, if anybody has a presentation, Ms. Garcia, if you have something that you want to do for the judge, come right now. Is it?
You know, I forgot to ask, where's the principal and superintendent? Can we have a week where we don't call the kids by their names? Can we do that? I want them to call them by their dreams. You know, like, why can't we call them? Why can't we call them astronaut? Why can't we call them teacher? Why can't we call them doctor? Why can't we have a week in the school system where we just call our children by their dreams? Can we do that? Can we do that, Mr. Principal? Can we start it here? And they just establish a week where everybody gets called by their dreams? All right. That was just on my heart.
Ms. Mayor.
Judge Hatchett, it's indeed an honor and a pleasure. If my colleagues could please stand with me, any council members that may be present. Thank you. Welcome. October 22nd, 2019. Greetings from the city of Muskegon Heights. Whereas we are indeed happy that you have chosen the city to help us bring unity in the community, and whereas we hope that you will explore our city, next time you come back, we're going to go to lunch. And as much beauty and extract as much beauty and love as you can from our entire city, as we do. And whereas the city of Muskegon Heights has hope for our youth, and we are reclaiming our city, and whereas the city of Muskegon Heights realizes that it takes a village to raise a child, and we are glad that you are part of our village now. And we now, therefore, be it resolved that the city of Muskegon Heights extends a warm welcome to Judge Glenda Hatchett, and we pray that your stay here will be pleasant and filled with the abundance of love and friendly fellowship. Signed, the Honorable Mayor Kimberly Sims, Mayor Pro Tem Vernell Smith, Councilwoman Bonnie McLaughlin, Councilwoman Kelly Kitchen, Councilman Marshall Cook, Councilman Andre Williams Jr., Councilman Walter Watt Jr. God bless you. Thank you.
All right, Judge Hatchett. So once you walk into Tiger Country, you are a tiger, right? You have joined our community here. You've not only joined us, but you've challenged us, right? I heard a call for mentorship. Next week, Wednesday at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. at King School, we are signing up mentors. So this is your opportunity. You heard the call tonight, right? If you can eat lunch, you can be a mentor. That's what we're going to ask you to do, is eat lunch with our kids. So join us next Wednesday, and when you come back, I'd love to be able to bring those mentors up and share with them the same gift that I'm going to share with you. So maybe I should take it out for you. Can I do that? So I mentioned earlier one of our slogans, right? So up front here we have Muskegon Heights Tigers, right? And then in the back, this is who we are. Together. Together we rise. So I hope you wear it with pride. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. So one for every mentor next year, right? You'll join us on stage. We'll make lots of t-shirts.
I love it. I love this. So I'll have to wear this when I come back.
Good evening, Judge. On behalf of our mayor, who sends his regrets that he couldn't make it tonight, but I like to look on the brighter side of things. You got me, the vice mayor, Eric Hood. Judge Hatchett Day. Whereas the citizens of Muskegon stand firmly committed to stop gun violence and unify our communities, and whereas Americans are 25 times more likely to kill with guns than people in other high-income countries, and American teenagers are 82 times more likely to die from a gun homicide than their international peers. And whereas protecting public safety in the communities they serve is among the governor's highest responsibilities, and whereas Judge Glenda Hatchett has teamed up with the City of Muskegon to initiate a Let's Stop the Gun Violence, Hope for Our Youth campaign, and whereas this initiative is imperative as we work to fight gun violence, both in our state and on the national level, and whereas by addressing the intersection of gun violence prevention with criminal justice reform, racial equality, and poverty, we are working to find a long-term solution to the alarming rates of gun violence seen across our state. And whereas among her many noteworthy achievements, Judge Hatchett accepted an appointment as Chief Presiding Judge of the Fulton County, Atlanta, Georgia Juvenile Court, becoming the first African-American Chief Presiding Judge of a state court in Georgia, and head of one of the largest juvenile court systems in the country. And whereas the City of Muskegon is committed to investing in the safety of all young people by providing them recreational programs and gun violence prevention programs that will help reduce gun violence and keep them safe and off the streets. And whereas we renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and commit to do all we can do to ensure those who would seek to harm others or themselves do not have access to firearms, and encourage responsible gun ownership to help keep our children safe. Now, therefore, Stephen Garon, Mayor of the City of Muskegon, do hereby proclaim October 22nd, 2019 as Judge Hatchett Day in Muskegon. As we show our deepest appreciation for the outstanding contributions made by Judge Glenda Hatchett over the past 30 years as a judge, corporate lawyer, and community activist, as we work hard to reduce gun violence within our youthful generation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, you're good.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.